Hello, my lovelies. It's Ruth here at Artful Stampin. I have the most messy desk, but I don't care. I've had a busy day. It's been awesome. So we've been enjoying watching On Stage at Home. I got a new stamp set. Can you see? I've been colouring and enjoying it. Also, if you haven't heard, I hit 9,000 subscribers today. I got 9,000 subscribers today. Please don't unsubscribe because I'm singing the song. Yes, I've been talking about it for the last few weeks, haven't I? And I did it today. I checked in. My friend Katrin was here. Hello, Katrin. And I just so happened to switch on the computer and check my YouTube. And I was like, I got 9,001. I missed it. But anyway, 9,001 is better than 9,000. So I cannot complain. Cannot complain. Now I'm looking for the stamp set that I used today because I want to use it now. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll use something else. Yeah, so all in all, good day, guys. Good day. So where is that stamp? What is going on, eh? I only used it this afternoon. Would you believe I've actually been having a bit of a tidy and a sort out, although Katrin couldn't have told because I had to move things around just for her to sit down earlier. And yeah, I'm getting sorted, but maybe not. Doesn't sound like I am. Right, so this is all I can find. That's not good, is it? That's not good. Anyway, welcome. I thought we would do just some happy stamping today and focus on what one needs if one is a beginner stamper. All right. So I do have this on my desk and I'm thinking, what if I just use this one stamp, or a stamp rather, and kind of talk through what you need as a beginner crafter, paper crafter, that is, and how you can go about making some really simple but gorgeous cards, you know, without having to have a whole craft room at your hands. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm aware that sometimes I use a lot of product and I don't want to kind of overwhelm you with thinking that you have to have shelves and shelves of stuff. You really don't. Okay, so how about that then, guys? So I'm going to start by using a piece of card. So the cardstock in the UK comes in A4 size or 12 by 12. And what I tend to do is buy the Stampin' Up! Very Vanilla or Whisper White cardstock, which comes in packs of 40. Now, if you've got a friend, I would suggest that you actually buy a pack each and split the two so that you've got 20 of the Very Vanilla and 20 of the white. And when I go to cut my card, because this is card that I'm then going to be sticking onto a card base, okay, so there's my card base, and my card bases are always half the size of A4. So if you guys in the States who don't use A4 are watching this, don't worry, ignore the fact I'm saying A4, just use your card, cut it in half, score it, or score it then cut it, whatever you find easiest. And that's my card base. So in the UK, to make sure I have a little bit of a I was going to say menu then, a little bit of a border, not a menu, all the way around, I cut my cardstock to 10 centimetres, like this. And I usually have a wee little stash of these cards already cut. All right. Now, if you're a super organised person, you know, not like me, if you're a super organised person and you think, you know what, I just want to have some cards at hand ready, then I keep them in these fab little boxes. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if these thicker ones are still available. Can someone tell me, are these still available on the Stampin' Up! Website? They're just super handy for storing things in and keeping them, you know, crease free and all that kind of thing. And then I cut this at 14.35. If I get that. So basically I look for 14.5 and take off 1.5 millimeters. And that gives me a lovely size that automatically then will fit onto my base. And then, hey presto, I've got a nice border going all the way around. So I'm thinking, let's stamp this then 3 times. And perhaps think of 3 different ways we can use this lovely stamp set, of which I've lost the case already. It must be in my room somewhere. It must be. Because I was using it this afternoon and I obviously just moved some stuff off my desk, you know, just to tidy up. And it's here somewhere. It is. And I was showing the papers to Catherine earlier. Oh dear, never mind. Right, so I'm going to grab some black ink to start off with. So this is the Tuxedo Black Memento ink that we do. And I've forgotten to get my cloth, so I'm a bit naughty. I'm going to use a baby wipe. I don't actually advocate the use of baby wipes because one, they're made of plastic. Did you know that baby wipes are made from plastic? Generally, especially the cheap ones. And you know what? A cloth, once you've bought a cloth is for life, isn't it, really? And we also do some fantastic chamois. Stampin' Up, that is, do these lovely chamois, which, again, I've left in my kitchen. I did have them all wet and ready, but I forgot to bring it in. So, you know what? Let's have a nice, clean grid sheet. I'm just going to flip this over so that it's nice and clean, because I don't want you staring at that. There we go. That's cleaner. It's cleaner. So let me get my lovely, beautiful floral image here. So this is a new stamp set that's going to be available in January. I'm going to stick that there. And I might just have to get you to sing amongst yourselves while I look for the rest of it. Stick that on. How lovely is that? So much gorgeous detail. And I think I'm going to do 2, and I'm going to colour them in with one with pencils and then one with the Stampin' blends, just to show you the difference and the different effects that can be achieved. Like that. And then have a little sit down. So, what has everybody been up to today? I'm sure some of you demonstrators who are watching will have been watching the on stage shenanigans. I have heard that some of you guys have had problems logging in to the platform. Sorry to hear that. I hope that's all sorted and that you're able to watch it now. We didn't have those problems in the UK, fortunately, so I do feel for you if you did have any problems. Apparently it just got super busy. Oh, I found it. I'll put it in such a safe place. Right, here it is. Blessings of Home. So there's this gorgeous large image, then this one that I've just stamped, and for me it's the wordings. I mean, this is pretty, but the wording, the text is gorgeous. Then we have a set of dies. So 2 of the dies cut out the image. So I've got this large one here that will cut that out. And then we've got this big one here that will cut that bigger image out. So if you're a beginner crafter, you may not be interested in the dies because it does mean investing in a machine to cut them out. However, looking at that, I think that might go through the mini cut and emboss machine. So the mini cut and emboss machine is about half the price of the big one. Okay, I think it's about 55 as opposed to 110, I think it is, the big one. So, right, so where's my pencili? Where's my pencils? So there's 2 packs of colour pencils that are available through Stampin' Up, and they are watercolour pencils. So it means that you can use them dry or you can use them with water. It's up to you. And now some of the pencils that I do have in here, like this one, this was from a kit about 2 years ago, and you got 3 pencils with it. So if I do use that one, I'm sorry, but it's not available. I'll try not to use it because I hate using things that kind of you can't get hold of. Now, can anyone tell me what flower they think this is supposed to be? Is it like an anemone type one? And I don't know what these are either. I'm going to kind of just go with my gut and just colour something pretty. So I'm going to go with a bit of, is that Rich Raz? So I don't even know, oh, it doesn't say anything on this one. Okay, I'm going to take the ones that don't have anything on them out because I feel it's a bit naughty of me to use it. Is that Rich Raspberry there? Oh, that's another one without. See, I've got 2 there. Oh, a bit of Granny Apple. Yes, we can use a bit of that. Got a bit of Balmy Blue. Now, it's worth reading what's on these, because although that says Balmy Blue, it is actually a bit darker than what I would call Balmy Blue. But when you put a bit of water on it, you see how that lightens down quite a bit? See? So I'm using my Stampin' my blending brush pen here. Okay. Right, let me say a quick hello to everybody. I'm all of a bit of a tiz. I need to calm down. Hi, Louise, Valerie, Wendy, Ivy, Monica, Nessa, Jessica, Louise, Roberta, Susan, Darlene, Vicky, Ivy, Becky, Pat, Martina, Christine, Katrin, Janine, Cheryl, Tracy, Deb. Who else? Julie. And Darlene, I think. Right, hi everybody. Oh, brilliant. Good, Wendy. Sometimes it's nice not to do too much, especially when it's birthdays, because I think for some children it's a little bit overwhelming, birthdays, because there's so much expectation put on them to enjoy the day. And then I think sometimes it's hard to enjoy a day when there's so many expectations put on you, to have to like your presents, to have to like your cake, you know, to have to like all your cards. It's a big thing, you know, for children. Right, I just need to talk through what I'm doing here, guys. So, as I said, these are watercolour pencils, so you can use them dry or you can use them with some water. Now, I did say use them with water, didn't I? And then I brought this funky thing out, and you're like, what is that? This is a blender pen, and when you buy them from Stampin' Up, you get 3 in a pack. And they contain magic. No, I'm only joking. They don't contain magic. They contain fluid, a clear fluid, that when you then apply it onto something that reacts to fluid, it then does react. And so you get this gorgeous opportunity to blend. See, I've only put the lightest of pencil marks around there. Well, this pen activates the ink like so, and then I'm able to pull some of that colour through to the rest of the petal. Right, petal? And there we have a really delicately coloured petal there now, rather than just having the blue in that area. Now, for those of you who perhaps you're a bit afraid of colouring and you're like, well, I don't know where to put colour, my tip is go with where the artist has already put lines. So the fabulous guys at Stampin' Up, the lads and ladettes at Stampin' Up, they who've designed these beautiful images, they kind of help you out because they already put a few lines in there to be your guide, to be where the shadows might be, to be where, you know, the little veins of a flower, the veins of a leaf, you know, the shadows of, you know, whatever it is you're drawing, a mustache, you know, hairlines, all that kind of stuff. That they're there to help you. It's a Camellia japonica. Thank you. See, I trust Martina to come up with the answer. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Becky. Is the stamp set new? It is, Becky, but it's only going to be available in January with the new catalogue. So January 4th, it's going to be available. So this is just a little bit of a sneaky peek. I know it's a bit naughty of me, but it was on my desk and I was using it today and I wasn't quite sure what to do. Although I am thinking, and please let me know what you think about this, my faithful followers and my new followers as well, that I would like to try and reach a little bit more people who perhaps have not crafted before. And so I wanted to maybe once a week do a kind of live that had a little bit more explanation in it. Not, you know, not in a patronizing way, but just give explanations for why I use certain products, how to get started, what I would suggest that you buy first of all, and make it so that everyone on the live would know that that was what I was doing, and also be a good help and welcome questions. So if we've got new people watching for the first time who've never crafted before and they might need a little few tips and whatever, that all my regulars would kind of know that and kind of go, you know what, let's help this person out. A bit like, you know, when you're driving and you see somebody with L plates, that's learner driver in the UK, and you go, okay, this person's needs a little bit more patience and, you know, they need some help. So I was wondering whether to do Friday nights and kind of name it, called First Time Stampers Friday type thing. Or just, you know, or maybe even not make a big issue of it and just say, you know what, Friday nights is chill out night. We might get a few people on here that don't usually come onto the channel. So let's make sure it's super welcoming for people who perhaps have never crafted before and may want to ask questions that they may feel a bit overwhelmed or a bit kind of, oh, is that a silly question? I don't know whether I can ask that question. And for us to go, you know what, ask your questions, because everyone has to start somewhere. Not everybody knows what a blender pen is. They don't know what a trimmer is. They don't know what the different types of cardstock is. They don't know the difference between a rubber stamp and a photopolymer one. So let's make it super comfortable and enriching for people to come on and hang out with us and enjoy the community, but also be, what's the word, encouraged and supported to start their crafting journey. That's my thoughts. What do you think, guys? That calls for new Friday night PJs and more wine. Explain the craft language would help new crafters. Yes, it would. So every time I say something, you think, Ruth, that's jargon, stop it. In capital letters, you can put, Ruth, explain what such and such means. And I'll go, okay, I'll do that. Ah, Cheryl. Have you seen it, Cheryl? Hi, Monica. Hi, Cindy. Hi. I know I've already said hello to Monica, but in my head, I'm thinking, Monica's seen the new catalogue. Won't hurt even for experienced crafters. Sometimes we need a reminder. You know what? That is so true, because today, that's a great point, Martina. Today, it was lovely because I was attending on stage with, when I say attending, I'm in a chat group with some of my team, and one person attended for the first time ever, and it was so lovely to hear what they felt about it for the first time, because they'd never experienced it before. And there was a really good little technique for, which I have seen before but she'd never seen before, and it was a good reminder of how to emboss with the coloured inks so that you don't have to have every embossing colour under the sun, embossing powder colour. And she went, oh, I've never seen that before. And so it was lovely because, you know, we forget, you know, those of us who've been doing it, you know, 10 years, we forget these things. So I don't know, I'm making up this flower and I just fancy putting a nice big bit of yellow in the middle of there. So I don't know if I've completely done that wrong, Martina, but I'm just going to go with it because I just want a nice big bright flower. So I've just put a bit of that Daffodil Delight and I've put a bit of pumpkin pie in the centre there. And the reason I've done that is because I'm going to mix it all together. Now, the blender pen, if you've just used it on another colour, it's worth just wiping it off at the side to make sure it's nice and clean before going in with a new colour. And so I'm just blending that yellow and that orange together. Oh, I thought I'd muted that. I'm so sorry. So rude. There we go. That's better. Very Versailles. Yes, it does. It does have competition. Yeah, you know, so guys who've been watching my channel for a while, you know how much I love Very Versailles. It's a stamp set, by the way, for those of you who are new. It's a stamp set in the annual catalogue. And a few of us have been saying, what are we going to do if Very Versailles goes? And we think we have found the alternative. The Very Versailles. Now, we're not saying it's exactly the same. It's not exactly the same, but it has Very Versailles qualities. So I'm so looking forward to be able to share that catalogue with you guys. So let's have a look. Timelines. So if all goes well, if the catalogues are going to be at the warehouse at the beginning of the month, December, that is, I will place my order like a midnight on the last day of November to try and get in there with a really like good early order to get my catalogues to me at the beginning of December. And I think what I may do is even start like writing your Christmas cards now. Those of you who've been my customers. So anybody that's been my customer in the last 3 months, you will definitely be getting a catalogue off me. All right. You do not need to contact me and say, Ruth, can I have a catalogue? You will automatically get one. Okay. If you are fairly new to my channel and you are in the UK, France and Germany, I will be ordering a pack of the French catalogues and the German catalogues. So I will be getting those. And so you can let me know if you would like a copy of the catalogue. That's if you don't have a demonstrator already. If you have a demonstrator already, go ask your demonstrator. Because I don't want to be, I'm not a customer poacher, if that makes sense. You know, you go shop with whoever it is that you shop with. Right, so I'm just doing a little bit of what's called cross hatching. So I coloured very lightly. This is basic grey in vertical direction. And now I'm just going in a horizontal direction, very lightly, building up the colour slowly. I'm not pushing down too hard. I'm trying not to push down too hard, if anything, and just build up the colour bit by bit, just to create a nice kind of background to my nice flower here. And try not to forget to go just in between there a little bit, like that. There we go. And then I'm going to come in with my blender pen. Yay! What was this? Be good to use together. Hold on, I've missed comments. Sorry, guys, I've been concentrating. Thank you, Cindy. Had a friend from church here to help make thankful cards. She now knows no naked envelopes. I love it. So tell me, ladies, do you still keep and use the stamp sets that are not in the current catalogues? Yeah, I think most people most people who are not demonstrators keep whatever they want. Yeah. The only reason I don't keep hold of retired product is because I would run out of space, Darlene. It's not because I don't love them. I do keep hold of the ones that I really, really like. But every so often I have to go through the ones I love and get rid of the ones I don't love as much, because I would run out of space. But that's my job. So you have to remember that for us as demonstrators who are, you know, selling to real life customers and not just ourselves, these are our tools. So just like, I don't know, a mechanic would get a new spanner or whatever. It's similar for us. We have to get new tools every so often. So, but for those of you who love card making, they keep hold of it. They keep hold of stuff because they use it because they love it. And so there are lots of demonstrators out there who literally sign up because they want the discount. We call those people happy shoppers. Happy shoppers. And there's nothing wrong in being a happy shopper. So if you're thinking of becoming a happy shopper, now's a good time to do it, because it's only £75 to sign up and you get £130 of product, and that offer is good until the end of December. No, November, sorry. Not December, November. Slip of the tongue there. Crafting can be expensive. Yes, it can be, especially when you can sometimes end up thinking that in order to craft, you have to have lots and lots of stuff. And I'm not a believer in that. I think you need some key things. And this is why it's really helpful that if you can find a demonstrator who can help you through that process and be realistic about your budget, about what you want to achieve, what techniques you want to learn, it's worth having a conversation with them before you plunge in. And so, you know, if you want to have a conversation with me, that's fine. Just email me, ruthtrice@gmail.com, or just have a little bit of a shop around. Figure out what style you like, what stamps do you like, what cards would you like to make. Yeah, and unfortunately, it can be very easy to get carried away with a bit of what's called FOMO, you know, fear of missing out, where people kind of go, oh, it's so nice, someone's used that, I want to use it. And before you know it, they've bought it, and yet they've not really thought out what they're going to use it for. So a tip with that is to think about at least 5 projects that you can use a stamp set for. Okay, so think, okay, now is that stamp set versatile? Can I do a thank you card? Can I do a birthday card with it? Can I do a masculine style with it? Can I do feminine? What age, you know, what age range? Who would I give these cards to? So it's worth just taking time just to breathe, to make your, before you make your big decisions about what you're going to buy. Yes, of course you can inspire old sets with new sets. Yeah, I just don't have very many old sets, Vanessa. And the reason why I don't tend to incorporate is because I don't want to upset people not being able to get the older stuff. Yeah. They see new products coming out and they feel they need to get them. Yeah, I'm sorry people feel that way. I mean, I would say you don't need to do that. So I don't know if that's just to do with the way people's brains are wired to wanting the newest stuff. But there are other people whose brains are wired to kind of go, you know what? I'm just going to use what I have, and I'm going to make it and use it and make it and love it and keep going with it, you know, because I have 2 types of customers like that. I have some who are very, very careful, and they, you know, they will use something and use it and use it and use it. And then some people who are like, oh, actually, that's the latest thing, I do want it. So, yeah, it's tricky, that one. Right, so let me just explain what's happened. I've just used light balmy blue alcohol pen. So this is a Stampin' Blend and it's alcohol based and you can smell it. It's very different. This has no scent to it at all really. This does smell. And the benefit of using an alcohol pen is that because the alcohol evaporates very, very quickly, it means that you can colour over and over and over in a certain spot and it will get darker and darker and darker. So I just used the light balmy blue. Now I've lost my dark balmy blue. I don't know where it's gone. I may not have even bought it. That might be an issue. So I've used light night of navy to do the darker spots. Okay, so the darker areas where the lines were telling me to do it. And I'm now going back over with my light balmy blue to try and blend some of that darker lines in a bit so they're not so harsh. I'm just doing that now. So you can do that because what happens is that this colour going over the top is now pushing that darker colour through to the other side of my card, and you'll see, you can see it coming through there. All right, so it's kind of pushing it in like so. So it's not quite as delicate as that. It's a bit more of a vibrant colour, but that's okay. I do have though some, is this Pool Party or, oh, that's mint macaron. I'll use that in a second. I have got, is that it? Light Pool Party? Oh, that's light mint macaron, light Pool Party. What's that? Dark Pool Party. Okay. So when you buy the Stampin' Blends, they come in packs of 2, a light version and a dark version. So this is Light Pool Party. Now going on to do these cute little flowers. And as you can see, I'm just going in there. I'm kind of being careful, but not being too careful. Getting that in there like so. And then I'm going to get the Dark Pool Party and just do those wee centres like that. And because the stamp has already got that lovely texture on it, I keep switching my sound off and it keeps switching back on. That is so weird. My computer's been behaving very strangely recently. Thank you, Miss Vicky. I make up an order, but then wait a couple of days before sending it and go through the catalogue again to make sure I really want what I've ordered. That's a really sensible tip, Vanessa. That is a really, really big, sensible tip. Yeah. Oh, thanks, guys. Yes, I did a happy dance. Katrin was with me when I discovered it, and I did a happy dance in my craft room, my 9,000 subscribers. When I started, I thought DSP was double-sided paper. Ah, yes, so DSP stands for Designer Series Paper. But it can stand for double-sided paper too. Miss Schneider, Karen Schneider, thanks a million to Poodle's Papercraft for getting me hooked. Yeah, I tell you what, Sam has got a lot to answer for, I think, in the crafting community to getting people hooked on card making and box making and so on. So I'm using light mint macaron. Now there's 2 sides to these pens. We've got a kind of brush tip side and a bullet point side. Now the brush tip is quite sensitive. It's very sensitive, in fact. And so if you do use them quite often, after a while, the brush seems to disappear. It goes into a kind of like weird fan effect. So it's not a fault. It's just that that's what happens with fibre tip pens. And these pens are not designed to last forever. They are what's called consumables. So you're meant to use them and use them and use them and love them and do your colouring and give away your cards and enjoy the process. And then once it's dried out, you can actually, oh no, I'll show you one with one I've already done it with. You can actually take off the tops of these. So you can get a pair of pliers and pull this off. You can pull this out and you can recycle the plastic. Okay, So please pop it in your local recycling for harder plastics, and that will get recycled. So I'm using light mint macaron here, and I'm not worried about going for different coloured leaves. I'm just kind of keeping it simple. Hashtag simple stamping. Every month, Stampin' Up! Give us a little bit of a simple stamping challenge. And I think this month, if Janice is watching, she'll be able to tell me. I think this month is to make thank you cards. So my problem is there isn't much space between need and want in my brain. Yes, the sale is the 16th to the 18th. Yep. Yep. Right, so this is dark mint macaron now. So I'm, again, just going over the veins. I'm going where the image dictates. And where you have a leaf just underneath a flower like this, if you imagine your light source is usually from the top left. That's where we tend to do light sources from, or certainly from the top. Then there would be a little bit of a shadow underneath where the flower is. Okay, so just do a wee little shadow there. And again, I'm following the lines that have been set out by the artist who's actually drawn this image. So just putting a few extra bits in there. How cute is that? Right, let's get a nice colour to go in the middle. So I'm thinking a bit of light and dark Daffodil Delight. See, that tip has gone a bit. When they're new, they're fabulous. But if you're a bit like me and a bit rough, and sometimes I use them to colour in gems, that doesn't help either. So I'm just putting, again, going where the dark bits on the actual design is. Put in some extra dark spots like so. And I think for the background, I've got, what have I got here? Light smoky slate. So I'm going to go around the whole image and just put a little bit of a background on there. Oh dear, I have to chase a present from my cats. Oh dear, what have they been doing? Stamps, inks and paper. Oh, is this included in ink then? Janice. Would I be allowed to enter this as a simple stamping thing? See, even this bullet point is it's not as bullety as it used to be. Yeah, similar colours. Similar colours. I wouldn't say I've used exactly the same. Right, I'm being very careful around the edge of this. And I'm going to be very careful just to catch the inside where the flowers are. Can you guys see that okay? Oh, that's better. You can get a bit closer. So I'm just trying to go just inside there like that. And down the edge there. Around like that. So if you're new to my channel, please do hit that subscribe button. And come back again another day. And if you're wondering who I'm talking to, this was a live video filmed on Friday, the 12th of November 2021. And if you're able to catch us on the lives, it's good fun because there's lots of people chatting away to each other, helping each other out with various tips and tricks. Oh, now, someone said, what does One Sheet Wonder, OSW, stand for? So OSW stands for One Sheet Wonder. And it's a method of making lots of cards quite quickly and easily by cutting up a patterned piece of paper. Now on my channel, I've taken that the extra kind of step of stamping my own background paper or my own designer series paper. And so I like doing what's called stamped one sheet wonders, where I stamp a background myself. So if you see OSW, that is usually what that means. Right, are there any other anagrams we use? Apart from the standard ones like LOL, ROFL. What else do we tend to say? I was trying to go for that effect that I created over there. So as you can see, by going over and over, you actually can achieve darker spots. Like so. SU stands for Stampin' Up. Yes, that's right. Vanessa went on the poker machines. She got a win. Oh yes, go and get that mouse, Martina. Right, so this pen here is called a colour lifter, and I personally believe it's a wrong description, but that is what it's called. Okay, so I need to teach you two things. It's called a colour lifter because what it appears to do is to lift colour away from your cardstock. But from a technical point of view, it doesn't lift it, it pushes it into the cardstock, because I want you to understand how it works. So for example, if I wanted to put a bit more of a highlight on this petal here, just adding a little bit of that colour lifter there. And in a moment, you will start to see that colour kind of go away from that patch. It's very subtle. Oh dear, it's very subtle, but it is starting to push away, and it has gone a little bit lighter. So perhaps this isn't the greatest explanation of it, but let me just do that a bit more. So this can be used if you've made a bit of a boo-boo. So I know what, let me do it on some darker ink and then you'll be able to see how that works. So that's light night of navy going on there. And so if I was just to go over and over and over and over like that, it could be that this is actually a bit dry. I do have a new one, so that could be the problem. Let me just open this up. Yeah, it does feel rather dry. I think this was the reason I got a new one. Oh yeah, look at that. Right, you see how that's changing? That's pushing the colour into, and it's almost, can you see it's kind of spreading it apart there? So I know what, let me do that again here, and you will see that work a bit better. So I'll just put a little bit of a highlight onto this petal there. Might do some on this leaf, which is already a little bit light to be honest, but I'll just do a bit more there. Okay, it's super subtle. I'm sorry, I'm not really giving a very good example of this, but you can see here that look, if I do my dots, there we go. You can see how that works. That's pushing that colour in. So it's handy if you've made a little bit of a boo-boo, like if you've coloured outside the line, you can actually push from the other side and push that colour back a bit. Not, you know, hugely, just a little bit. Does it work better when the ink has just been put down or before it has dried? That's a really good question, and I'm not sure I know the answer to that one, because I think I tend to use it as soon as I've coloured it in. So that would be interesting for me, maybe me to come back in 10 minutes and see what happens with that one. Right, I'm going to zoom back out again, guys, because this is a bit too close up, I think. There we go. Right, so there we have two different looks. That's coloured in with the pencils and that's coloured in with the pens. Now, I will say, if you do go down the pens option, the price per marker is a little bit more than the pencils, because these cost I think it's £8.25 or £8.50 for two, and you get, sorry, that's not quite the right two, you get a light version and a dark version. So you do have to be a little bit careful in those initial days when you're purchasing these to choose kind of colours that you know you're going to make use of. Now, what is handy though is that you can mix colours. Let me just grab a piece of cardstock and show you. So for example, if you wanted to colour in some foliage and some leaves and that kind of thing, I would recommend that you get light old olive and dark old olive. Let's see if I can find it. Is that dark old olive? Yeah, so that's dark and light old olive. And then I would recommend that you get the yellows, because if you mix like a combination of those greens and those yellows, you can end up with some really nice different greens. So that's the light old olive, and this is the dark old olive. Now you can obviously get a really nice kind of blend between the dark and the light like this. See how that blends quite nice. But then if you apply some yellow over the top of the light and over the top of the darker one, you then start to get slightly different looks. Also, the other way to do it, oh, this is running out as well. Go with this one. You can also do it the other way. So it's worth experimenting with mixing colours together. So this one you get a yellowy greeny colour, and you see how I get a bit more of a yellowy green with that as well. So it's quite fun to kind of experiment. Also, if you mix some blue in there as well, you get a bluey green. So if you lay down some blue first, then put some green over the top. You see that's quite different, isn't it? So that's the light old olive on blue, and light old olive on yellow. Okay, so you can kind of get a really great kind of mixture of different things. All right. Oh, hello everybody. Hi Esther. Hi Levine. Didn't see you guys come in. Hi Amanda Gately. Oh, go and have an early night, my darling. You could always use a grey to outline the edges. Yes, could do that too. Oh, hi Vincentia. Hi Fancy. Nice to see you. Do they blend better on watercolour paper? Oh, that's a good question. Hold on, let me see if I've got some watercolour paper. I know that May was after some watercolour paper a few weeks ago because she got into doing it, so I'm not sure if I have. I do. I bought a new pack. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it's recommended. Stampin' Up! Recommend that we use the basic white and the basic and the very vanilla, but I don't know. I mean, it works. It goes on, but whether or not oh no, wrong one. You can get the same level of blending. I don't know really. It's really absorbent. It's almost like it's pulling out the colour from the pen because it's so absorbent. So you might end up using a bit more colour than you wanted to, and it is, I mean, it's nicely blending. But oh look, that's interesting. I would say the markings are more pronounced. So yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend it, but it does work. So yeah. Yes, that's a good point. So someone is saying about the alcohol. Yeah, alcohol is better on a smooth surface, whereas watercolor paper is suggested when a lot of liquid is used. Yes, I would agree. It's just to do with how it kind of works as an ink. Right, let's go back to this stamp set then, and some different ways to do a bit of simple stamping. So another idea would be to get that same stamp but stamp it in a slightly different way. And I'm wondering about just trying to cover the whole sheet and then just to focus in on a portion of it. So this hopefully is a really fab little technique that you could try. Now normally I'd have put the stickers on the back of here, so I'm going to have to eyeball this, just figure it out as I go along. So I'm just going to start in one corner, ink up, and then start filling in. Turn it around, try and get in there. So I'm kind of looking for spaces. That's funny, they're like kissing there. I think that will fit in there. Not too bad. Some of them are touching a little bit, but that's fine. Just want a kind of overall pretty design. Get that in there. So I'm just trying to fill up that whole piece of paper with lots of different stamps. Sorry, stampings of the same stamp. I think when you've got a detailed stamp like this, you can get away with doing that. It's quite nice to do. Even just some little edgy bits there, like that. Ooh, can't forget this little bit there. And there you have, there we go. It's completely covered now. So then to highlight a spot of it, I am going to try and find something circular to draw around. Ooh, what have I got here? I use that as a bit too small. Got my nice mug. Oh! I dropped that. Oops. Oh dear. I underestimated the weight of it, and then I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. Now this is called the tea dyed effect, where one gets a tea bag and rubs it all over the stamping to make it, you know, vintage, everybody. It's called the tea stained paper look. Right, just make sure it's dry. Oh my goodness. There we go. Let's just stick that on there. So I was going to get a pencil, and all I was going to do was draw around it. Didn't have to spill it. Oh dear. Right, draw around there like that. There we go. It's all right. Just don't touch alcohol. Yes, embossing powder. That's true. Although I have actually deliberately done it, Cheryl. Do you want to hear this? I embossed with white embossing powder on black cardstock and then coloured it in. Yeah, I'm not sure if I was meant to do that, but that is definitely what I did. And it looked amazing. Just like your junk journals, yes. Oh, that's a good idea, Vanessa. The stamp set that I am using is called Blessings of Home. Just giving that a wee dry. Okay, so the idea was to just colour in whatever's in the middle there. And I want to do it quickly. I don't want to be here all night. So, I know what, let's go for a bit of a... I'm going to go for a bit of granny apple green, and I'm just going to colour in between the flowers very roughly. And I'm keeping inside that circle. And this is quite a zingy green, okay? So I'm just going to get that in there. And I'm deliberately not kind of holding my pencil upright, because if you do have a sharp tip, it will just make a really strong mark. So I'm deliberately holding my pencil quite low and at an angle to the paper. So if you're new to using pencils and things, or you haven't done it for a while, then hold it sort of quite low and at an angle. I mean, some people even hold their pencils like this, don't they? And they do that to get even more of that pencil lead against the cardstock. You do lose a little bit of the control that way, so it's up to you if you want to do that, but you definitely get more of an even coverage of the cardstock or paper that you're covering. Okay, then now what I might do actually is before I start doing stems and things, I'm actually going to go in with my blender pen and just blend some of that green in. So I'm actually going to lose some of those little darker spots that kind of appeared. And just very quickly colour that all in. And it's moving that pigment around because this is activating it with the fluid from the blender pen. And you see how that's just smoothed it out really nicely. So look, I've got this dark patch here, and I'm just going to smooth that all out by adding, and there's my lines there, that's all going to get smoothed out like so. Okay, and yes, I might be going over some of the stems, but that's okay, because I know I'm going to go in there with the darker colour in a moment. I am staying clear of the petals though. Right, so let's go for something fun and vibrant. Let's go for a bit of, what's this? That's rich razzleberry. I was going to go for melon mambo if I've got it. Oh, that's flirty flamingo. That'll do. Let's go for something nice and bright and happy. So going in there with the pink in the middle of those flowers, like so. Don't know if we have a lighter pink. I don't think we do. We do have a bit of, is that Calypso Coral? Okay. Right, I'm just going to use a bit of the flirty flamingo on the petals there, but I don't want too much because I want that to be lighter. So I'm concentrating in the centres to get that colour down. Check that that's dry from my tea earlier. There's a little bit of pink there. Oh, and a tiny spot of pink on that section there. Okay. Hi, Glenna. Oh, take care, Monica. I'll chat to you tomorrow. My tomorrow, your later. Enjoy the rest of On Stage. Yep. Is Vicky, have you gone yet as well? Right, so gonna activate that pink in the middle and then pull the pink out using the blender pen. Okay, see how easy that is? I'm just activating that lovely pencil pigment. Okay. Now, someone was asking me about the quality of our pencils today, and I said they are very good. And I do stand by that because I've used watercolour pencils for a very long time. I was going to say nearly all my life, but my father bought me a set of Derwent watercolour pencils when I was probably early teens. And I still have some of them actually to this day. And I would say that the quality of these are on a par with the Derwent watercolor pencils. I'm just popping a few little marks of the pink in there. Now, can you see what I just did? I literally just went, oh, my phone's about to run out of battery. I literally applied that pencil, sorry, the blender pen directly to the pencil to pick up some of that color. And I can apply that straight down like so. So you can use it that way if you want to. But I find it easier just to get the colour down on my paper and then work around and go from there. Now I'm going to go and see if I've got a darker colour that I can use in the centres, because now I've got that pink, that flirty flamingo down. I feel like I can get a bit more of that darker shade in there now. I think, Glenna, are you a bit of a watercolourist and a pencil person? Glenna does some beautiful, very delicately coloured in images. They're very, very delicate and pretty. Right, and I'm just cleaning off my brush or my pen here because I've got this tiny bit of the petal here that I want to be lighter. So I don't want to overdo it there. And then I've got the rest of these pink petals to colour in. Bringing back the flirty flamingo just a little bit there. Like so. Okay, so has anyone got any other questions about pencils and things like that? Okay, how's that looking, everybody? You love watercolouring but are still a learner. I think, yeah, watercolouring is just such a beautiful thing. And it's interesting, I think May is super into watercolouring. We were outside a charity shop again the other day, and this charity shop always puts like all their framed pictures and things outside in a box because it just takes up too much space in the shop. And she always gravitates towards the watercolour sort of stuff and the landscapes. It's really interesting. Yeah, and watercolouring is so popular right now, but I think it can feel a little bit daunting. But there are so many books and tutorials out there that if you want to learn how to do it, you can do. And it's just one of those things that I think you've got to just allow yourself to be able to make mistakes and just try it, you know? You don't need to show anybody if you don't like your results. You just go, that was just my practice. No? Right, I'm trying to remember not to go outside of that circle. Like, oh, I've got that circle to stay in, haven't I? Okay, so this is Old Olive that I'm putting down now. And as you can see, I'm not colouring every single part of the leaf because I know I can go in with my blender pen. I nearly put the lid on the pencil in. Okay, so, oh, there's a little bit of, oh, I know, I'll come in later with that. Right, so let's start at the top here. Can you see okay? So I'm just activating that green. See, activate, and move. Activate and move. There we go. See, reactivate, move. These bits are a bit easier because they're smaller. Then here, activate and blend it down. Stay in the line, Ruth. Activate. Oh, there's some more green ones that I didn't put the pencil on, so I can just get it directly from my pencil, like so. Just add it there. Now there's a spot there that needs some granny apple green, so I'm going to come back in with the granny in a minute. I'm going to come back with granny. There we go, turn it around. Hi Nydia! This is relaxing. What, to do it or to watch me? I wish Stampin' Up! Had more colours. Okay. Yeah, I guess so, in their pencils. I think they're quite good at, if you want to mix colours, you could mix colours. But no, they don't have the range like the Derwents. The Derwents have got like 74 or something. There's quite a few. I suppose we just have to remember that Stampin' Up! Is not a artist supply company, really. These are just accessories for using with stamps. It's hard to remember that though when you really could do with going, oh, I want some more colours. Right, let's just bring some granny apple green because I've spotted some areas where I've got gaps. So just want to pop some of that green, that lighter green in those gaps there. You know, so it looks like these have, I don't know, fallen on a green tablecloth or something. Do that. There's a bit of a gap over here. Stay in the line, Ruth. There we go. Right, now, I think these little flowers, they remind me of forget-me-nots. I know they probably aren't, but I think a nice blue. So let's go for the balmy blue again. We do have a, is that Pacific Point? Yeah, I can do that for the centres. I'm just going to add some of that balmy blue. Try not to go out the lines, but I don't need to be too careful. Just want to get some of that blue down that I'm just going to mix around in a second. Oh, there's a little hint of a blue one there. And so I'm going to get that blue all moved around, filling in all those lovely little flowers. And then I'm going to let that dry while I move on to this, and then I'm going to come back with a Pacific Point afterwards, but I'm just giving that a moment just to dry out. Although this is not like super wet, it is damp, so I'm just going to leave it to dry for a moment. There we go. Hi Susan, lovely to see you. Oh, you got my card. Oh, good. Will you put a thin circle frame? I'm thinking I might do that, Vanessa, or I might just rub out the pencil marks and just let the design kind of do its thing, you know, because I think when someone looks at it, they'll go, huh? How did that work? So I don't know. I'm going to rub the pencil marks, and if I don't like it without the pencil marks, yes, I'd consider putting a black frame. But as this kind of was supposed to be a video trying to encourage beginner crafters, we'll have to think about how we're going to do that black frame without having to actually cut one out with the die machine. So if you've got any suggestions for what a beginner crafter could use if they wanted to do a black frame, please give your ideas now, everybody. I mean, the other idea is that I sort of make the area a bit darker around here, you know, where the kind of circle meets the design. You know, subtle, like, you know, not too obvious, but just do it very subtly. Make that a bit darker. I sometimes like optical illusion-y stuff with card making. Give people a bit of a surprise, you know. Just add a bit more granny there. Do that around the edge there. Oh, that needs the old olive colouring in. There we go. Right, what do you think? Draw it on with pen. Yeah, could do that. I'm using coloured pencils at the moment. Sherlock Hoka. Yeah. You got your watercolour pencils out for the first time. Oh, fantastic, Levine. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm just getting a bog standard eraser. I'm just going to clean it to make sure I've got no marks on it. So it's good to just sort of have a go and clean off your eraser on some scrap paper. Now, I don't want to take off the colour, obviously, so I'm just going to go in there gently and try and remove those. Oh, the pencil mark's not coming off. I'm wondering if it's because I've painted over the top now, so it doesn't want to come away. Oh, shall I rub harder? See what happens if I rub a bit harder. Oh, it doesn't like it. It wants to stay. It's happy where it is, everybody. Oh, that bit came off. That's because I got water on that earlier. So it's a bit frayed, that bit of paper. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Oh, it's slowly coming. Ooh. It's taking off a little bit of the green though. So we might need to go over some of that colour afterwards. But that's fun. Could you draw around in using the darker green? Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I'm probably going to go around with a tiny bit of the old olive. Old olive, yeah. Just around some of just this area here. Just to almost sort of frame it a little bit. And to disguise my pencil mark, which is still there. So I did that to try and get it flatter because it was a bit sharp. And when you apply a sharp pencil down straight to paper, you get quite a deep colour. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to spoil it. So now I need to also fix that boo-boo there. Because of the paper was a little bit crumpled because of my... Oh, you know what? I've just coloured outside the line. You know what might be nice? If I just colour this whole flower outside the line now. Let's do that. See what happens. I am not colouring the whole thing in, everybody. Okay. I was joking with someone today saying sometimes on my lives I come on and go, I'm not doing lots of fancy colouring tonight. And then I'll do a stamped one sheet wonder and then I'll go, oh, I'll just add a bit of colour. And then before you know it, I've coloured the whole thing. I've got no self-control. Just going to do these leaves. Sometimes it's nice to break the rules, isn't it? Just to make people go, huh? What am there? That's cute, isn't it? Hello, Kelly. Beautiful accident it is. Right, now I wanted to show you... Oh, look, see, now don't do that as well. This is another reason you shouldn't have baby wipes on your work surface, because this is what happens. You lay something down and before you know it, you have the mess. So use your cloths, put your cloths in a box. Right, what a beautiful day for love. Oh, thank you for inspiring me. That's gorgeous. There's so many lovely sentiments in this. And I love the simplicity of the font choices. Just so elegant and lovely. Right. So, my ink. Maybe when we draw around the mug, you can use the same colour as the background. Yes. Yes, that's a good idea. Or use a softer pencil. I may have used just too heavier pencil. Or I may have used the wrong kind of pencil. Oh, what should I use? No, I think it was this one. What's that, a B? The B should have been all right, really. But c'est la vie, it worked out okay. Thank you for inspiring me. Right, I also wanted to stamp something else to show you. Another technique. Do this one. So this stamp set, if you're a beginner crafter and you're thinking, where do I start? And you love the florals in this and the words, then this is quite a good one to get started, because I can see lots of possibilities of what you can do with this. So keep watching my channel, because I'll be coming up with lots of different ideas. Oh, I pushed down a little bit too hard there. So when you're stamping, it's always worth having 2 or 3 goes, because when you've got very delicate writing, if you push really hard, I'm deliberately pushing hard now, what can happen is that you get distortions with the rubber. So where the rubber presses down too hard, you get a distortion. So when you stamp, you need to go down straight, give it a little bit of pressure, and then lift off straight, and then you get a nicer impression. Right, I'm going to get my scissors. You've done that with baby wipes as well. Yeah, I think a few of us have done it. Okay, I'm just eyeballing this. If you've got a little mini trimmer, then this is probably preferable, but I'm just going to eyeball it. Let's see if I can cut this straight. So this is my straight one. Now this would look gorgeous if you were to stamp this maybe with white ink onto black card, or use white embossing folder or something like that. So now this can go on the boring bit. Do you know what I mean? The boring bit with the stems. So let's get that bit straighter. I keep cutting more and more off this. I probably should stop. Okay, so that can go on the boring bit like that. And then I was going to say, for these ones, this is quite fun too. Oh, I've managed to get a pencil on there. Get that off. All right. This kind of sentiment is quite nice to cut up into little pieces and to stick them in different configurations to what it was created. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to cut these down really quickly. So what do you think of this stamp set then, guys? Is this one that you would recommend for a beginner stamper? And do you think a beginner stamper should go for pencils or for the Stampin' Blends? Pencils and a blender pen versus Stampin' Blends. Levine, I think you've used both, haven't you? What do you think if you're a beginner? Right, so I'm just cutting this up. Da, 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 da. Okay. So this, now you see, you can have a bit of fun with your layout. Just got to make sure we don't lose the pieces. See? Ta-da! How cute is that? Let's see if I've got a nice bit of pale blue. Got a bit of balmy blue back here. Stick that on like that. That's cute. I started colouring with pencils and blender pen first. Watercolour pencils and blender pen, yes. We use pencils and chalk, says Annie. Ooh, there's always a lot of Cheryls on these videos. Yes, there is. It's a good name, Cheryl. Got Cheryl Douglas and Cheryl Adams on tonight. Have we got any other Cheryls in the house? We occasionally have a few Cindys. There can be a couple of Debs. Sometimes there's a few Christines. Now, when you do this as well, it doesn't have to be perfect because the whole kind of look of it is a bit of a kind of junky style. So, you know what? Doesn't matter if you don't get it completely straight. Have a perfect birthday. If you're cutting up words, you see, I was wondering if you could put the word happy, but there's no happy here. So you could have a inspiring birthday. You could have a anything birthday. You can have a beautiful birthday. Could do that. I'm tempted. I'm tempted. See, this is where I hear Tom's voice in my head making up silly little, you know, combinations. I wonder if you could do everyone around you is perfect. Right, we'll have to play that game another night. What sentiments can you make up with this stamp set? Not what Stampin' Up intended. Yes, the pencils, I could have gone darker, yeah, to get a bit more of a depth of colour. But that's what's great about using the blender pen kind of technique, because you can just start slowly and gently and, you know, have a together birthday. You know what? Yeah. Sometimes just getting through the day and still being together by the end of it. I don't mean me and Tom, I just meant being together in one's head. You know. What a perfect... You can have what a anything but what a round birthday. Oh dear, right, I'm going to stop there. It's just being silly now. Have a beautiful birthday. There we go. See? We got there in the end, everybody. Beautiful birthday. Letter, thank you. You found your 72 Derwent pencils. Yay! I know. I love my 72 Derwent pencils. Although I think I'm down to 70, and when I was packing to move house, I went through my pencils and wrote down the ones that I was missing because I was like suffering from full set syndrome. I was like, I need to have a full set. So I will finish these cards tonight. Let's do it. Have a blessing together for love. Right, do you want to play that game then, guys? Let's play it. Let's play that game if you want to play it. Oh, it's the light is a bit... Oh. Okay, try not to get the light in there. Right, you play your game while I get on and finish my card, all right? You immature lot. Yes, Derwent, you can buy them individually, Esther. Yeah, no, you can buy them individually. Because, you know, Derwent's such a massive company. Oh, if Jenny's watching, Jenny went to visit the Derwent factory in... Oh, where is it? Keswick. If anyone is in that part of the world, do go and visit. I think there's a shop there. I guess it's because it's from the place. Because isn't there a place called Derwent Water? Inspiring together for love. Thank everyone around you. Love everyone around you. See? What? There's no love. Oh, yes. Love everyone around you. Ruth, can you show me how you use the blocks to put the labels on? Yes, of course I can. You have a severe case of full set syndrome. Oh. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a bit of colour around the edge of this. So I'm just going to get my pencil and put a tiny bit of that green on the edge, like so. Wow, guys, this is a day to remember. Britney Spears has just been freed from her 13-year conservatorship. What's it called? I'm pleased for the girl. Wow, woman. See, we're not just a crafting channel. I update you with the news too sometimes. Right, I'm just using that blender pen to activate the green on the edge there. There we go. You are anything for love. You are anything for love. Right, there we go. Thank you for inspiring me. And thank you, my fabulous subscribers, because I get so much inspiration from you guys. You make such great suggestions and things. Because some of you have been crafting longer than I've been alive. And I say that with the deepest respect, because some of you are old enough to be my mothers. And so I do appreciate it when you guys come on and you give me tips and tricks and all sorts of things, because there's always something to learn, isn't there? Always something to learn. And I don't think we should be afraid of education, because education helps us to understand the world better, understand ourselves better, understand how to make beautiful cards better. So, what was that one, Cheryl? Can we get everyone together for a beautiful birthday? Inspiring real love around you. Cheryl took her time and came out with a good one. Yes. Some are older than my mother. I know. Well, my mum is going to be... Oh, she's going to be 80 in a couple of years. Yep. I know. Scary. I remember, like, organising her 60th birthday. Have a... Now just make sure you get the words the right way up. Take your time. Have a perfect Yeah, I know, Esther. Me too. I remember her learning to drive in her 40s and thinking that was like really old. And now I'm in my 40s and I still can't drive. Have a perfect birthday. Right, I think we're going to try a bit of basic grey for the back of this one. Yeah, I can see us having lots of fun stamping out the words for this and like mucking them about. But I think we need Tom in the room for that. Our new apartment has mirrors on wardrobes. I says I can't get away without seeing my aging image. Oh, can you get like mirrors with like filters, like on Instagram? Hi, Len. I love your video. So informative. Plus, I love your voice. Oh, thank you, Len. That's very nice of you. I try and keep it, you know, quite mellow so that people can fall asleep to my voice. But when I get excited, I do become rather shrill. So do forgive me if that ever happens. Like earlier when, you know, I realised I had 9,000 subscribers. 9,000 subscribers. Just saying it again because I'm so happy. Right, now we didn't make a decision what I was going to do for my 9,000 subscriber celebration. Have a beautiful. Oh, I could put a bit more glue for beautiful because it's a bit bigger. Beautiful, beautiful birthday. Hi, Therese. Oh, love the light blue floral card. Thank you, Lisa. So I'll try not to overdo it with this stamp set because I know you can't get it until January, but it was on my desk, and the picture I showed you earlier was of some colouring that I've been doing today. So would you like just to see a little bit of a close-up of some of the colouring that I've been doing? And then I'm going to leave it there because I need to go to my bed. I've got to be up in the morning for the next instalment of On Stage. So let me know which was your favourite. We've got this one that's just one image stamped with black memento, tuxedo black memento ink. Then this one also stamped in the black, but coloured in with the Stampin' Blends, which are our alcohol pens. This was coloured with the pencils and a blender pen. And then this one, I stamped this image repeated times onto my very vanilla cardstock and then drew a circle and coloured in the circle. Please ignore the tea splotches. I might just go and rub a bit more tea over it just to make it all feel like it's meant to look like that. So there we go. A perfect day to love everyone around you. Susan's still going. Susan, what's that? A perfect day to love everyone around you. Yes. They could. They could do that, Miss Janice. Yes, so if you want to get hold of this stamp set early, you can join Stampin' Up for only £75 right now and choose £130 of product. And in December, place an order and you can order this early. Yes, you could, because it will probably in the pre-order. Well, I don't want to say it'll definitely be in the pre-order because sometimes stocks run low. But it's most probably going to be in the pre-order. Right, so I did a spot of colouring this afternoon. And just to explain, the reason I've gone around the edge of this is because I do have a die sitting in the wings ready to cut that out. And I wanted to possibly mount this onto a darker card later on. So I wanted to colour in a black outline. So that's the reason why that's coloured in like that. And then this one's got a bit of crumb cake around the edge. So this one, I went for a kind of a sepia toned sort of look. This one with the blue and some, ooh, I think that's petal pink I've used there. This one's my very bright, happy, psychedelic one with the, I think that was, yes, Magenta Madness. And that purple on the pool party and the granny apple green. This one is my bright and zingy one with the yellows with pool party, and I think that's mint macaron, because mint macaron is like it's on the cusp of being blue or green. Are you allowed to take a photo of what you just coloured in and print and use it again on your cards? Technically, if you have bought the stamp set, you can do that, but you are not allowed to sell what you've coloured in doing it that way, Vanessa. Okay, so let me just clarify. Vanessa has just asked, am I allowed to take a photograph of what I've stamped, print it again, and use it on a card? There's no rule to stop you doing that. However, if you want to sell any products, using a Stampin' Up image, you have to have stamped it yourself. And the finished, and it has to be on a finished product. So for example, I couldn't stamp a sheet of these and then sell a sheet of ready stamped images. That would be going against my demonstrator agreement and also the Stampin' Up Angel policy. Okay, but you know, it's kind of easy to stamp these, so and I'm not sure the quality would be as good, to be quite honest, because the stamps are so high quality. I probably wouldn't risk it. So there we go. I think pencils because of the expense of the pens. Yes, good point, Darlene. Yeah, I think if you're a beginner stamper, yeah, go with the pencils. So this one, I think this one's one of my favourites actually. It's got, again, a bit of a vintagey vibe. Got the peachy in there. Now, confession time. I coloured in those two blue. Then I realised that that flower is actually that flower, but I'd already coloured it in with the peachy pinky colour. So I went over it with the blue and then added a little bit of peach to that one just to balance it back up again. There we go. Just, you know, letting you in on my little secrets. Excuse me. Oh, let me just have a swig of that tea. Love the first and last. As I like the pencils better than the alcohol pens. Oh, excuse me. I've been talking too much today. Right. Oh, now this one I've gone for a bit of a kind of yellowy and greeny vibe. You know, I know flowers are probably not that colour, but it's fine. I just wanted to go for that kind of vibe on that one. So I had lots of fun just colouring in these images and looking forward to, excuse me, making some nice cards with these. Right, so Vanessa asked me to show how to stick stickers onto stamps. So I will do that now. Let me just quickly clean off this stamp because knowing me, I'm going to get ink everywhere if I don't clean it off. So when the stamps arrive, they arrive like this with a sticker sheet and the stamps are sort of not fully cut away, but pretty much cut away from the surrounding rubber. And so what you have to do is you have to remove, there's little points where they're still connected. So you just remove those like so, very easy. Now you can discard the surround rubber. That's completely your own choice. But what I tend to do, because I'm using lots of different stamps, well, I can use lots of different stamps in one go. I want to know that I've put everything away correctly. So I actually find it easier to pop this back into my case like so, so that at a glance I can go, what's missing? What do I need to find? You know, and it's just easier to put things away because I can see, oh, that pops in there. That one pops, oh no, the other way around. That one goes in there and so forth. All right, so that's just my preference. That's what I like to do. So it's up to you if you want to do that. So there are instructions inside the case of how to apply your stickers. I like to do it in a slightly different way to the way that they've suggested. This was shown to me by a Stampin' Up demonstrator, did a little video on Instagram probably about a year or so ago, and I found it to be very effective. So the instructions say to remove that top layer there, and then remove that one, and lay your stamp over that, and then remove the whole thing. Okay, I'm not going to do that. What I'm actually going to do is remove the whole sticker away from the sheet like so, pop it onto my block, obviously get a block that's large enough. Then I'm going to remove that top sticker. Now this side is the super sticky side. Okay, so you do not really want to make a mistake with this bit. And then I lay my stamp on my table. I might have to just bring it a bit more towards me because my camera's in the way. And then I hover the sticker over the top and it should match perfectly. And then you go down and push down quite evenly till it's all stuck. And then to remove this from my block, remember this is a brand new sticker, so it's the best it's ever going to work. You do need to get your fingernail and get it underneath so that you're picking up the sticker and the whole stamp, not just pulling that red rubber away. Because if you pull that red rubber, the foam here is not, you know, it will hold ish, but that's the weakest point. So if you rip that rubber back, it will just come away. So don't do that. You can probably put a little bit of glue and fix it, but it's not ideal. So when you peel that away, especially for the first or second or third time you use a new stamp set, it's worth just you making sure your nail is right under there to pull it apart. Now, just the action of perhaps using your nail and putting your finger, you know, finger oils on there, that will help to loosen it up anyway, so it won't stick so hard next time. But that is super, super sticky. Now, do try and not let these fall on the ground and pick up extra dirt and things, because after a time of a lot of use, they can lose their sticky. All right. And we do sell sheets of adhesive that can go, that it's the same sort of sticky sheet, and that can go on there. Now, sometimes what I do is I rescue some of these bits and I use those and refresh a little bit my stamps and put new sticky on them. Right, is that helpful, Miss Vanessa? I leave the sticker out a bit from the block. It's easier to get the stamp off the block. There we go. Lots of people have different ways of doing it. You could even just trim off a little bit if you wanted to. I mean, I try and get them as lined up as possible, because I think the whole point of having the sticker on there is so that you don't have to kind of second guess where things are at. Now, occasionally you will get a stamp set and for whatever reason in the manufacturing process, it's off like a millimeter. So Stampin' Up! Obviously design the rubber stamps. They make molds and then the rubber is poured into them. And the reason why I go on about the quality of Stampin' Up! Stamps is because the etching depth is larger than some companies. So if you are tempted to sort of pick up some of those cheaper stamps, that's fine. You know, I understand if you're a beginner stamper, you may want to pick up those cheaper stamps. However, you may not get as good a results because of the etching depth. So if sometimes because of the manufacturer, when Stampin' Up! Will then design a cutter to cut this out in one go. Now, years ago, it's not worth, you know, complaining about it. It's just the way it is. Sometimes that happens. But years ago, we'd have to cut out our own rubber. They would come in a sheet like this and we'd have to cut them up ourselves. And then we'd have stickers and we'd have to cut the stickers out and stick them on ourselves onto wooden blocks. So Stampin' Up! Have come a really long way, really long way. Anyway, I'm going to tuck that back in there. Are there any further questions? Use my way, thank you. We can get real beautiful for everyone. You're still going. We can get real beautiful for everyone. Oh my goodness. You've heard they can be washed. Okay, yeah, just be careful. Just be careful. Don't you get sometimes stickers that almost don't stick to the block and other times they stick too much? The older stickers were like that, pal. Good question. The oldest stickers, they weren't didn't have this kind of like weird adhesive-y stuff on them. Although it isn't adhesive, obviously, it's just the science. I don't know how they do it. It's like how, I don't know, how spiders can walk up walls. I don't know. I think it's the technology. Yeah, so if you do have stickers, if you do have old stamps like this, just buy the adhesive sheet. Stampin' Up! Sell it in the back of their catalogue. It's not, sorry, I shouldn't call it the adhesive sheets because that's not what they're called. They are called something different. If you bear with. If you've got any more questions, please do ask them. They are called... No, not adhesive sheets. What do I want? 13. 13 adhesive sheets. 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 13 adh number 9, cling adhesive. Okay, cling adhesive. So some people buy this if they're wanting to convert their wood-mounted stamps to cling. So we can get together to learn. Oh my goodness, Janice. Yes. Yeah, so I've got a whole box of these ready to sort of cut little bits from and use. Just be aware of using the right side on the stamp, okay? So yeah, I'm trying to think how can I tell you that's the best, which is the best side to use. But yeah, so the bit that you pull away, that bit is always the stickiest side, and the bit that's under there is the less sticky, and that's the bit that goes on the block. This is the bit that goes on the stamp. To be honest, once you've done it a few times, and if you've ever made a mistake and done it wrong, you don't make that mistake again. But it's worth just taking time just to think it through before you do it if you've not done it before. Or I should say, thank you for inspiring me. Beautiful day for inspiring me. That would be nice if they did that with a cling adhesive, because it doesn't really stay. I've marked mine. Oh, you mean you get muddled up? Okay. Yeah, you just have to take a moment to think about it. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. This has been longer than I intended. But thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, guys. Hope you like the cards, and I hope that's been a bit of an inspiration for any of you who are kind of starting your crafting journey. If you want to know more, please do email me, ruthtrice@gmail.com, and please just, yeah, ask questions, far away. Any crafty questions, that is. Sorry. Yes, take care, Cheryl. God bless. And yeah, thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll, God willing, see you on Monday. All right, lots of love. Bye. Please remember to give me a thumbs up. Thank you.